Right, so just to recheck, I'm David Williams and I'm chairing the meeting. I am the town councillor and I represent Harpenden North. To my left is...
I'm Lim Allen and I'm the planning and finance.
I'm Rod Cooley, I'm the town councillor for Harpenden South.
I'm Geordie Kelly, I'm town councillor for Harpenden North.
I'm St Martin, councillor for Harpenden East, and I'm substituting for councillor Canfield.
Excellent. Okay. So we dealt with David Heritage and Chris Canfield. Are there any declarations of interest that anybody needs to make now? No? Okay. If anything comes up during the meeting, then do just shout. The minutes of the meeting that were held on the 21st of December, for those of you who were here, are you happy that I can confirm them as a true, accurate set of minutes?
Yes,
Rod, are you happy?
yes, I'm very happy, yes, that's fine.
Right, I'll just sign them. This is the last meeting. Right. Are there any further questions?
No, there are none.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're looking at applications registered the week ending the 8th of January and then the week ending the 15th of January. So let's just dive straight into those now. We've got two or three members of the audience who want to speak. So we're going to deal with your applications first. And the first one we're going to look at is the Red Cow application. This is in the conservation area, which is on
Page 15, Mr. Agenda.
Right. Do you want to just get some of the papers out of there? So I hope members have had a chance to look at this. This is the pub on Westfield Road that you may or may not be familiar with, I don't know. But it's a Grade 2 listed building, and essentially the applicant wants to put a significant extension on the rear of the property, and then also formalise the car parking arrangements to the rear. And have we got the elevation? So, it's Mr. Steele, is it?
It's Mr. Stell.
Sorry.
Right, everybody gets it wrong. Close family.
Yes, I'm going to blame somebody's writing. Now, do come and join us at the table.
Pull up the chair.
Yes, please do. Now, we're relatively informal, but the way we like to do it is invite you to speak for 3 minutes, and then you can go back to your seat, and then we'll discuss the application. So, over to you, 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Chairman and members of the committee. I represent the company that owns the freehold of the Red Cow. It was purchased in August 2015. It's been advertised for sale for residential redevelopment, which would have undoubtedly been a loss of a community asset. We are in the business of sort of saving pubs with we re-gear the lease, take away beer ties, renegotiate the lease, and basically set up a new tenant on much more favourable terms, which is what we've done. The pub is now, from its failing status in August, is now busy, independent, free of tie, and in dire need of having extra sort of facilities. Anybody who's over 5'10" will know that standing up in the front of the Red Cow is a bit of a problem, which is only one of the many reasons for the rear extension. As part of the application which we've submitted, we've detailed a set of plans. We have a design access statement and a heritage building appraisal and impact assessment. Because this is obviously a Grade 2 listed building, we're very conscious to retain all of the important parts that relate to the original listing. In terms of the application, we have a letter of support from the landlady, from Michelle Morrison, who's absolutely crucial to the operation of that business. She's very, very keen for this application to be progressed. We have a letter of approval or of non-objection from the only neighbour, which is the immediate next door neighbour up the hill. The major issues we see really where we've incorporated a lightweight glazed link to the new extension at the back. The rear extension is completely out of sight from the street. The ridge height is below the level of the existing building. The existing building, although it's listed, there's actually very few parts of dating from the original dating from the original construction. There's a big hideous sort of set of extensions around the back which are out of sight, and we're going to be demolishing part of them if we get consent to aid this extension, to sort of aid the business. We're going to be formalising the car parking spaces, and our proposal we would suggest is in line with the NPFF, which is, our quote is, keen on the promotion and retention and development of local services and community facilities, including public houses. So in a nutshell, we're looking to improve the layout of the building, improve the trading area, improve the viability of the business, help it succeed, bring social and economic benefits to the area. And if once you've read the design access statements and the heritage report, if you've got any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the design and access statement, but clearly there's this issue about viability of the existing hub as it stands, and the aim here, I think for want of a better description, is to establish a venue which one might describe as more of a gastro hub with a better food offer, and clearly that can, the aim then is to accommodate that and provide that in the extension to the rear. Yeah.
I looked at these plans, I thought they looked pretty good, and the view from the front is pretty well the same actually from the plans. The only thing I was wondering was if there was any adverse impact on the neighbours either side, basically. That's my aim.
There is one letter of objection on file on the web page, I think. I think it's paper. Was it 161? Westfield Road, who is making a point about, I don't think he's immediately adjacent to this.
He's 2 doors up. We've got approval from the person who's next door.
Because you've got 165 next door, and I'm not sure what 173 was.
165 is 173 is currently got a. You don't mind me speaking, just to help you. Tell me to shut up if you want me to. Well, as you face the pub on the right-hand side, they're subject to a planning application at the moment, which is still pending for demolition of a bungalow into 2 houses. And on the left-hand side, it's 165, and they've signed a letter to say they've got no objection to it. And the one next door to that is silent so far, and the one next door to that, which is 161, which is James Lawrence. I've only just read it on my phone just now, and he's objecting to it on the grounds I think you were about to outline.
Really sort of noise, hooters, car doors slamming, but he seems to be raising that in relation to its current operation, but he's obviously fearing that it'll get worse. But you know, it's a pub.
Yeah, I don't think that would get worse, because looking at the formalised plan of the parking, that to me looks as if it might take less cars than current, because you're filling.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll go around the table in a moment, but I mean, he also does raise that as an issue. I think his view would be that obviously the venue now is that much bigger than it is currently. Some of the space in the car park is eaten into by the size of the extension, and I think it might be a fair assumption, although whilst there's an argument in the design and access statement that these days this can trade in a more sustainable way and people will walk there rather than getting their cars to go there, but equally if you're trying to offer a distinctive food offering, you are more likely to attract people from but clearly there's a limit to the amount of parking spaces that can be made available on the site. Georgie, have you got any observations?
I think, yes, I think it's a good idea, especially in light of the reasons outlined in terms of an asset to the community. My concerns would be that, and I think this falls under building regulations rather than us about the grade 2 listing of the property and how it fits in with that system. I'm not completely up to date on what the requirements of that listing are, and it's grade 2 so not grade 1, but I think that would be just a technical concern. And then likewise to always make sure that there isn't any negative impact on the adjacent neighbours, and especially if it seems to keep within the boundaries of the ground as to where it has been in the past. I don't have any particular issues regarding that.
Yeah, I'd just like to say the listed building concern, I'm quite happy that actually they're not, affecting the frontage of the property to detract from how it is now, and the actual, the increase in the size of the restaurant area I'm more than happy with. I think that area of Harpenden is, underprovided for. Yeah, underserved in respect of, of eateries anyway. And so I think actually it would be a great benefit to that local community. So I actually, I can't see anything that I'm opposed to personally.
Right, okay. Well, likewise, I'm fairly relaxed about it. We need... There should be an opportunity for businesses like this to put themselves into a position to be as viable as possible. I think whilst from the front elevation you don't notice the building to the rear, nevertheless, in terms of attaching the old building to the new building, there is this glazed element which, dare I say it, for those of us who know what some of the best that Channel 4 can offer, they make this distinction between keeping separate the historic bit from the new bit, and that seems to be done quite successfully, in my judgment anyway. So, and we're relaxed about the parking provision in the circumstances.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we are going to say that, do I detect there's no objection? I mean, inevitably the heritage officer at St Albans will be all over this because it is a listed building, so she, and we can take some comfort that she will look at it and approach it appropriately in the circumstances. So, and are we, I will sort out minutes with Lynn subsequently, but we're happy to emphasise this question of viability for a public house like this, and that we're supporting the expansion.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're going to be in the area of 4086, I think, aren't we? Which is buildings of special architectural and historic interest. But essentially there's no objection. It's positive about what's proposed. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let us therefore move to Park Avenue, and just let me see which page we're on. Right at the bottom here.
Right.
So this is an application for 34 Park Avenue. There is a previous consented scheme. Yes, sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Scheme.
Thank you.
There was in Sorry, 2013, yeah, sorry, I was looking at 1992. And there was an application approved for quite significant rebuild, 5 bedrooms on the site. The applicants are now coming back with something large, but quite different in terms of the approach. So if we just get, so yeah, James also got the,
It's the one on the street scene as well that I think quite interesting.
Yes, this one,
so has that got both of them on there, the old and the new?
No, it's
that's
got
the
the
new.
street, this is the new street scene.
Yeah.
this is the, I've got existing and proposed on this.
And the front wall.
Have you got all three?
Yeah, yes, that's right, yes, all three on that sheet now.
Okay, so we've got Mr. Fansett who lives
Number 36. I've got, just before I start, I've got some copies of the letters which I forwarded to you last week by email, along with a supporting presentation with some photographs, which hopefully illustrate some of the concerns. But stop the clock and I'll summarise our thinking. Thank you.
We've got 2 minutes.
Lovely. Well, good evening, Mr. Chairman and the committee, and thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. As I say, I wrote to you last week about our plans to redevelop number 34 Park Avenue. Our family live next door at number 36 and have done for 53 years. We have in fact looked forward to redevelopment next door at number 34. The current property is virtually derelict and an eyesore, but we do have one major concern with the plans, and that's with the design of the roof. The proposed design at number 34 is for a gable roof. This will combine with a taller double-storey white wall that is far closer to our house than at present. Together, this will create a solid block effect, which will overpower our property, which will ruin the street scene, and which will block light. Now, this gable style of roof is out of keeping not only with our stretch of the road, where all of the houses have gable roofs, but also with Park Avenue in general. Now, I've gone round the road, and we estimate that in the last 30 years or so, there have been 26 houses redeveloped that I can remember, and I've listed them in an appendix. Now, 25 of those 26 have hip roofs, and they just let the houses breathe. As they get bigger and bigger, are built closer and closer to boundary lines, they let the adjacent properties breathe. Now, in summary, certainly we're not against redevelopment at number 34, but the gable roof proposed, combined with a wall that is far closer to our boundary, a double aspect wall which is far closer to our boundary, will utterly overpower our house. Now, if the proposed plans were in line with the most recently approved plan, which I believe is plan number 520131992, which was for a hip roof, this would at least partially lessen the impact on our property. At the very least, I hope this committee will express significant concerns with the gable roof proposed for number 34. For ourselves at number 36, a hip roof would make all the difference. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't know if you'd like to keep these. I've brought copies of the letters that I've sent you. You may have them. All right. There's a summary statement on the front as well, which I could easily email you after this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so on the plans, these grey ones are the previously consented scheme, and you can see the very, dare I say it now, in Harpenden, the typical hip roof. With accommodation in the roof space and on the windows. I think that NIMS have worked out the ridge height there. Is the ridge height?
Oh yeah, 9.8 metres.
Okay, 9.8 metres. Now, clearly the applicants have come forward with something quite different. This is, they've described it in, or the architects described it as in the style of Frank Lloyd Wright. But I mean, if I would say that, that it's proposing a slate roof, which again is quite unusual in Harpenden, but the combination of a slate roof and sort of sharp white render is the sort of approach. And there are one or two houses in Harpenden that have gone down that direction. There's one on Ox Lane, corner of Fallow Green, and there's one in Townsend Road, and then there's one on Wheathampton Road. But it's in that sort of vein. Did you work out what the ridge height was on the new one?
It's got it listed down here, it's 21.11.
Okay, so the actual ridge height is 0.7 of a metre lower than the hip roof form, but as has been explained to us, it's an end-to-end gable style rather than a hip style. Now, when we look at the street scene, I think as you sort of go down from 32 through 34 through 36, there is a sort of gradual decline in the ridge height. Is that how it is?
Yes, 32 is pretty well the same ridge height as 34, well, it's a little bit bigger, but then there's a 2 metre ridge height difference between 34 and 36.
Yeah. I mean, before I open it out to discussion, the only other thing I would say is that on one of the plans, there is the footprint, which I think is in blue. So red is the current layout. Blue, I think, is the consented scheme.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And then, obviously, the dark outline is the new scheme.
But it's not actually safer, it's just changing the...
But it's a gable, yes. So, anybody want to share their thoughts? George?
Yes, I read the gentleman's email with interest, and I have to say, if you look at the street scene, I completely agree. I think having I'm going to get them rubbled up wrong, the hip roof is the slant, would be a lot better suited to this street scene, and indeed better in terms of for amenities for neighbouring properties, and those were my thoughts on it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I actually agree with Georgie very much that the roof does look much better on the street scene, and it would be less daunting. It does hit you when you look at this, that you can see 34, 36, so it's noticeably smaller than 34. Yeah. So I'm close by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, although I'm right thinking that with the development now you can change from hip to gable.
Oh, that's a good question.
So, although as much as I think
Yeah.
it's totally out of character with the street, I don't know if they could, even if they got permission hip, they could then, they could amend it to gable anyway.
Sorry, could I ask that point was just repeated?
Sorry, I was just flagging up whether, if you want to amend current property from hip to gable, I think it actually falls within permissive development now, which opens up obviously a whole can of worms about how you give how you decline permission, but how that's looked at amongst the street scene itself.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be because of where you can development on that, and of course the expense would be
changing it afterwards.
yeah, because the way that these rooms are engineered is to provide the accommodation within the space and the en-suites and dressing rooms and all the rest of it. It would take some doing in that.
I mean, personally, I know it's just a style thing, and I find the modern look of this, it's very, it's dark, I find, the white rendered walls, and then everything being in this dark grey finish, all doors, roof, windows, etc. And I just find it totally out of keeping with the street scene.
The other thing I could say is that if you look at these windows in the top here, if you might ask yourself, how would I use the end of this ridged, the gable end of it? They're not spaced out.
They're sort of grouped together. I think
I'm just saying, is it necessary from the physical use of this roof space at all?
To have those three.
Just have those, you've got three windows there. What's in here?
Well, I think there's 2 bedrooms, isn't there? Was it this property that had bedrooms 6 and 7?
So that it would be for the staircase in the middle and then bedrooms either side?
So this is,
okay, so
this is the stair.
Depends on
So the staircase is in the middle, that has one window, and then one other side in each bedroom, and then the ensuite and dressing areas are glass round.
Which you then presume would also have the window that you can't see properly through. Obscured with its glass.
Well, you certainly have that
on the side.
Toilets. Okay, I mean, there is an argument that's been put forward by the developers that this provides a bit of variety to the street scene, and they reckon there's 17 other gabled properties, which probably includes Harpenden Place, which is the covers of Park Avenue, and of course it probably includes some of the older properties which are destined to disappear shortly anyway. So, okay, do we feel we're expressing concern here, or we're recommending refusal? Anybody want to?
I think we're expressing concern. It's difficult to express refusal because it's actually seeing how they use that top floor. If we're saying it was incongruous in the street scene, etc., then we said whatever, we can do what we want. But how strongly do we feel going on the table?
I think if we're saying that it's not right in where it's situated, and there is another plan which with a hipped roof is better, then I think we should recommend refusal on that basis.
Do you feel strongly?
To be honest, I don't feel strongly enough to recommend refusal. But I'm happy to see that this goes with the rest of the concerns from the
Okay.
I mean, if we go back to the previous hip roof plan, what were they doing on the top floor?
Well, there was not some accommodation there. It's just one massive guest bedroom.
That's right, yes. Instead of 2 bedrooms with en suites, it becomes one big.
Yeah, because it was 5 bedrooms before,
Yeah.
and now it's
Well, I do think...
And actually, there is a street scene on here. So, if you can see the gables, sorry, the roof line's a bit higher, but 34 and 32 are more like the people in the bottom now. If you look at the bottom there.
Yes, I see. I think it would be better if it did look like this one, with the hip roof. I do think it would look much better, actually. So, I would be persuaded to go for refusal.
Okay.
On that one.
Can we deliver that? Yeah. Okay, so clause 69 for context, it's the character more than anything, I think, in terms of the character of this. I've got in the conservation area character status. This is described as Sylvian.
Oh, right.
It's not as Sylvian as it used to be, that's for sure, with all the development that's gone on there. So it's design and then policy sanity, design and layout, and and we're going to talk about the incongruity of the design materials in this in the distinctive Park Avenue street scene. What do you have to work on? Right. So I know, Mr. Hansett, that Councillor Weaver was sort of standing by.
Yes.
And I suspect what we'll probably do now is that I'll ask him to have a word with him, and I think it is his intention to call it in if the planning officers are minded to grant consent, which would mean that if they are, it will go to the committee and school them, and the way that operates on a much more formal basis. I don't know if you've had a chance to look online, but they actually webcast those meetings. So it's quite an opportunity, you've got the opportunity to have a look and see how the committee operates before you go. But they're very formal in terms of giving you 3 minutes, and you can't participate thereafter. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time this evening. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, shall we move to Capel Road?
Yes.
Want to speak?
I don't mean once, I just want to point out that
Okay.
it's not the application not very clear, because it says the demolition of the existing house in blocks of garages to construct 4 new dwellings.
Yeah.
That's already taken place.
Yeah.
And all
Okay.
it is that there's still one of the old garage blocks up there, because one of them wasn't belonging to me, but I've now had an agreement with the owner to demolish that and put up more farm-style ones, more aesthetically pleasing, and to remove the tree on the axis. So that's all we're really changing from what has already been approved.
Right. Okay.
So it's a bit, but apparently you can't just put that in, you have to apply for the whole lot again because it hasn't been constructed. But it's 2/3 constructed, buildings are up as that. It's just
Well, I must admit I was surprised because I've sort of looked down there and I've seen the boarding that we've got.
Usually it's a Councillor Farmer come up once, he's going to have a look about 6 months ago, so she can confirm that. The demolition's already taken place.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, you've been there, you'll see that.
Street scene.
Okay.
But the application is very confusing because it looks like it's starting
Yeah,
fresh.
I was very surprised.
So,
That's what I
the
really want to point out.
long-standing application behind
So therefore,
behind Council Road, 2 pairs of semis, and then the proposal now is to remove the tree that's on the corner here, put some carports in, and improve the sort of turning circles.
yes, make a turn so they can come out forward. You know, any visitor they can actually turn around, or delivery vehicles can turn out and come out in forward gear. Basically, that's the point of that.
And in terms of the number of parking spaces,
I think everything's identical. There's no parking spaces lost or anything. You've just changed you put a little T section at the end, which was parking spaces before. They just put further parking spaces on the side to create the same amount of parking spaces and visitors parking spaces.
okay.
It's just
Well, I've got no objection. I don't know how others see it.
Well, the only concern I've got is that I measured the width of this driveway here, and it's just over, it's about 3.2 metres.
it's actually 3. They classed it as 3 metres, and it varies.
Right.
But
But
yes,
I don't know whether this document is still applicable. This is a appliance document, June
Right.
1994, but the minimum width of an access road is 3.7 metres.
But all this,
this has all been.
it's already been agreed.
But also, the actual road, Calvert Road, has only got access to 2.7 metres because they're now parking half on the pavement and half on the road anyway.
Fair
So
enough.
it's actually better access than what the whole of Calvert Road is. So I don't
It's just,
see that
the only other thing I could think of was the turning circle, whether that was, turning area was, whether that was really sufficient to...
What I'm saying is it's actually greater than what we've got now. That's the whole point of it. We haven't got one at the moment, so let's provide something, even if it doesn't meet current regs. It gives you some way of going out in the forward gear, as opposed to having to back down and doing that. It just makes sense, really. So,
The only other thing I saw on the plan was soakaways in gardens, is that right?
well, they've always been. I don't know if that's something. Yeah, they're exactly. If that's all existing as we've got all the cycles.
And indeed, you know, that's sustainable drainage to have a soakaway.
Yes, that's right.
I don't think. Did you see the garages that were there? The concrete garages on the left-hand side.
No, I didn't.
well, basically they're prefab concrete garages.
Oh, yeah.
The reason they couldn't knock them down in the first place was because one was owned by another person, and we've now come to an agreement to do this. Should they get permission, I've got to provide them with one and that sort of stuff. It just makes it look a lot cleaner than having concrete garages up there.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so no objection as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Right. So you don't need to stay if you, by all means.
Just a bit nosy if you don't mind. Tell me to go for just confidential.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Right. So let's go back to the beginning. We've got.
agenda?
Sorry?
Would you like an agenda?
Yeah. I did a bit of education, to be honest.
Right, please.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
So back to the beginning. Let's start off with the application on 23 Station Road. This is a sort of side extension. Certainly I didn't have a problem with it. Anything got a concern about this? No?
No.
So quite happy with your recommendation there.
Yeah.
26 Roundfield Avenue. You were expressing concern. This is, I don't think I've had a chance to look at it, but this is a mid-terrace. So there are three properties. So this is not a brilliant picture, but
Sorry.
so there's a gable at the end belonging to the house at this end. The house concerned is in the middle, and then there's another one beyond it. And what they want to do here is a single story across the length, isn't it? So
it's just affecting this property in here or this one here?
well, I think Lynn was concerned about the effect on the, not so much on the one with the gable,
No,
it's the one that's in line with
So which one's actually doing the extension?
the middle one.
yeah, middle one, so it's going to run along there and then sort of like,
That one at the end.
yeah, so
That's hard to see from that, isn't it?
Yeah,
what it was going to do, it's going to run along there and sort of leave that front door all on its own. So there'd be an outcrop there, there'd be an outcrop there, and then there'd be like a gap, and I was worried about lots of light to that.
Yeah, I agree, because when you see this picture here, and you've got this one here, so it's just about pokes out a little bit from this one, isn't it? And then comes along here, and then it's the effect on this one.
So how much is at the end here though? Is there two windows and a door?
Which one?
So is it coming up further than the
The gable?
windows as well?
No. No, it's sort of in line with the gable.
Yeah, in line.
So there's the gable of that house.
Yeah.
So they're going across and they're picking up the entrance
I
and
think they're going to run
window,
it in line with this thing.
Is that the top side of the road or the...
the bottom side.
Ah, okay. So it was not done like that. I was going to say, because it's top side, I wasn't expecting it, but it will.
I mean, yeah, they're infilling from this bit here onwards, aren't they? So that would block their light off.
Okay, well it's only, is it less than 2 metres I think, isn't it? But, okay, so Lynn's recommendation was express concern. I was not maybe as concerned, but are we happy to express concern
Yeah.
with Lynn's recommendation?
Yeah.
Excellent, okay. Right, so here's one where there isn't a recommendation, and this is 1 Glensford Drive. Strange situation with an existing house. They're going to take off an extension that's already on it,
That's right.
and then build a house as a semi.
We've had this one before because originally they were going to actually build a house next to it. I think they were saying. and you got turned down. This came from one of our plan teams.
Oh,
Remember
yes,
this one, George?
yes, I do remember this one.
So,
Oh, and this is the really strange one that we said was there was not enough space to put a house in the spot that they wanted to put the house in.
And parking as well, we were concerned about
Yeah.
parking.
And also we were concerned about where it was on the road as well, weren't we? Because it's on the corner, and so we didn't feel that it was a suitable position for another house to be put as well, especially with the way the road
Well, the
outside of the clock.
The other concern I've got is, if I'm reading this right, is that their next door neighbour, that makes them an end of terrace, does it? If they
well,
The
the
new
next
bit
door
will be-
neighbour is probably the people who are doing the development. So
Well,
they were an end of terrace, and now they're going to be mid-terrace.
Yeah.
Or they'll move into the end.
Oh, okay. So they're all-
terrace.
Yeah.
Terrace.
Or rent them.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So,
Oh,
highways have not objected. I seem to recall reading it. No, not the domestic stuff. It's very, very rare.
I still find it really strange, and also I find it. I know this really comes into building regs now about building it whilst it's sort of part of another house, and yet because it's basically just when they're terrace houses, they're one structure and one building, and you're putting in an extra bit on the end of it, and I still have the concerns about parking proximity to the junction that we had when we looked at this before.
Got a garage along
Oh, have they?
the back garden, yeah.
What, with access and Happy Lane?
We've got garage and parking there. Just for one of the houses, for the, yeah. The garage and parking space at the rear, and then they're saying that they're going to have 2 parking spaces at the front. I can't see that. So they're going to take the tree down, which is very clever, but it looks good.
Yeah, we were concerned about the parking.
No, exactly.
Didn't last time we had a picture of kind of you could see a bit more of the site behind as well?
From that one maybe?
Yeah.
I know that helps at all. And that's the before and that's the after. So you can see that they're sort of they're losing that extension.
yes.
Yeah. So they're actually losing part of the house in the middle.
They're losing a fair bit, and then this is the special plan, we're losing a lot of
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's happening quite a lot.
Yeah, just, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. In terms of how many bedrooms. So there are
How many parking spaces are
so
there?
there's 3 bedrooms, because there's quite a big dormer on the back of this new one, and so there's accommodation in the roof space, which gives them the 3rd bedroom.
Has there been any objection?
No,
No.
Well, I don't.
no, this is one. Last time it wasn't tested by norms because they withdrew it after your comments on this committee last time.
I'm minded to express concern about the
Okay.
parking.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the way to do it.
So how many are they suggesting? Are they going to...
Well, they're saying 2 at the front and 2 at the back.
Oh, okay.
The back, yes, I can see. Front. I mean, it depends. By the time they've taken down the tree, they might have the space at the front.
They nearly cross over.
It's right on the corner.
What's over on the top?
highly likely to get that.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Well, it's a private road as well,
Right,
so I don't know whether that means they can just do what they want with the crossover. Apart from that. Okay, so any higher bids and express concern? I mean, this is...
To be honest, if that other group of a house wasn't on the opposite side of the road, I would be suggesting recommend refusal for the street thing. But how that's the one opposite, it's got permission, I've no idea. In fact, so
Right, which one, is that the other side of Crabtree Lane or the other side of Glen Street?
the other side of as you're coming down Crabtree Lane on the
Right,
left-hand side.
so next time. Oh.
Because obviously they're removing frames as well in the corner, aren't they? And so they're changing it, so instead of having the hip property, they'll be having a gable end as well. That will be, so the gable will be facing to the...
That's Crabtree Lane, yeah.
Yes, that's right. That will form a gable end at the very end, well, into the very end house, that'll be a gable end.
Apparently pre-application advice received was that the proposed new house is in keeping with existing Eastern Council advice proposing to accommodate this.
It will stick out in the street scene when it's viewed from this road here, because you've got all these set back here. That current end is in line with these ones.
It's going to be now,
So it'll just
out
be-
across like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be straight, which is kind of what it does on the other side. It's going to mirror it out a bit, isn't it?
But isn't there a hip that side? I think there's a hip. There's a hip there, isn't there, at the end?
Yeah, probably, yeah,
So there's a little road terrace here.
yeah.
So,
But that's quite a long way, it's sort of way away.
yeah, it's going to mirror.
I don't think it will look out of symmetry or...
Well, I mean, all of the other houses, everything's got that hip through the front and the gable end sticking out right to the end of it.
I'm not too bothered, on this one I'm not too bothered about the hip or the gable.
Okay, so shall we express concern about the impact on the street scene?
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
And the parking.
Yes, and so we...
Because it's really not clear, is it, on this, how, there's nothing showing how they're going to provide parking.
Yeah, so there's something about whether the proposed parking can actually be achieved, something like that.
I think it'll be quite noticeable when you come up that road. This bit of this new one sticking out.
And of course, we're talking about the impact of the gable on the street scene. I'll give you a... Okay. Right. Okay, so we then go to land to the rear of 32 Ridgewood Drive on the Wells Close. So think about the road on there. Ah,
That's what I want.
Right, thank you.
so, this is a backland development behind Ridgewood Drive.
Yeah.
This is an outline change.
So they're looking in principle to see whether this is feasible or not. A huge number of objections from residents of Ridgewood Drive and of Wells Close. Anything you want to add, Lynn? There's quite a bit of tree removal being proposed.
There's quite a few things to address actually. They're saying that there's Japanese knotwood on site, which they've obviously got to be removed enough. So that's always there a bit more. Exactly, and that's got to be removed properly before they can even start. Yes, exactly.
I've been down there actually,
Oh.
taking some photos.
Okay.
This is basically, I can understand the resident objections, but it's hard to counter this proposal. As you come down this road here, Wells Close, you see a sort of pathway on the left here, and there's a little substation, transformer station just here. This area here has been empty so long that it's become like a wildlife retreat. And there's lovely trees, they do look nice actually, big trees and everything, shielding all the houses from each other, so it's quite private actually. I think that if this is all clear, then obviously the people backing onto it will see this properly.
Yeah, although the distances, obviously it's quite a lot of landscaping that they're proposing, including some new trees on the Ridgewood side.
That's true, yeah.
And the distances are comfortable, I would say.
Because
especially from the garden.
Is it 25 metres window to window?
Well, 27 metres.
27 metres.
Yeah.
In Bedfordshire it's 21.
Right.
But
and I don't know if they achieve that, but they'll be fairly close.
yeah.
So, do we consider that this is an acceptable form of backland development, or not?
I thought it was acceptable. Well, it was hard to see why you wouldn't allow it. Put it that way. But I don't know why you
Sorry,
wouldn't.
just to go back, remind me what the piece of land is currently.
Back.
So it's wasteland.
Yeah, it's this area has been zoned by somebody, is my understanding, and it's been allowed to just become.
There is a suggestion in the report that previous planning applications have been made for this site, but presumably not within living memory, otherwise memory would found on the system.
Yeah, they must have been really old.
So, long-standing ownership, and somebody now decided it's time to bring this forward. There seems to be a developer from Buckinghamshire who's behind it, the applicant.
Okay. There's no public rights of way or anything.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
The objection letters sort of centre around sort of wildlife being and also they do, there's one here that says repeated planning applications over many years have been rejected. But I don't know why they were rejected.
I got the sense of from somewhere that they were proposing a number of different properties on that site rather than just sort of one that fits reasonably comfortably.
In May 2015, a couple of trees that they were refused permission to remove.
Yes, here's a saying, it's sort of a list of trees.
Okay. Probably with CPOs or whatever.
Okay, so are we?
They've got oak trees on the okay.
Yeah, the oak trees.
Yeah.
And they supposedly keeping them as part of that scheme?
No. Mitigation planting area for removed trees.
Right.
Over to one.
So they're going to get into it as soon as building control get a handle on it.
I think that from reading all of things like the arborist report or something, I think one of the listed trees, if I got it right, was damaged or had a problem or something. So we could express concern over listed trees. A fair attempt.
Okay. So are we saying that we're not averse to development on this site, but express concern about the loss of some notable trees? I mean,
all these dotted lines are all trees that they're
Are they the canopies or they?
Yeah. So there's one oak there, an oak there. Doesn't say what they are. And the forms are fallen. But yeah, that one doesn't say.
But there are quite a few trees which they're retaining, actually. Mind you,
What are all these down here? What species?
Where they need to offer root protection to trees they're retaining. So
Right.
that all of these with the strong outline they're retaining.
And do you know what species they are?
Like got hedging, things like hedging and laurels, but it was separate to the trees. So they are keeping, I think this is one to retain it, so they're keeping these.
presumably they would remove them if that was not moved.
They have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it fair to summarise that we're not averse to development, however we are expressing concern about the loss or the potential loss of some important trees on this site.
Yeah. We've got some listed trees, I think.
Well, yeah, there are some TPOs around, so important and listed trees.
Yeah. Just adding, but just looking, I don't know all the details properly, but it looks as though it's going to be fairly substantial, probably well built.
I've seen there's plenty of a garage there, isn't there? How big that area is.
That would be quite big.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Right, we've done the red cow. I don't have any objection to the deering one. Are we happy with the deering? Yeah. Okay. Cranbourne Drive. There was support for this application from people who live in the road behind.
Good evening, thank you for
Okay.
your time.
Bye.
So there was support from people behind, but they were talking about some obscure glass. But and then there were 3 parking bays, I think, across the front of this, which wasn't great in terms of, and the garage.
I've got grass, this is Cranbourne Drive, yeah, grass to be removed, 4 Cranbourne Drive.
So there's a, right, I saw a diagram with just 3 cars, which is a bit, but if the precedent's been set elsewhere further down the road.
I have put some frontages further down the street, are fully paved or partially with gravel, so I'll have it.
I'm okay with that. Are you happy with no objection? And then Harpenden, that was minimal, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, I couldn't see any objection, no impact on any.
Was there a possibility of probably parking at all? Because, parking spaces, converting the garage.
I didn't have a problem with it, I would have loved it, I've had up for them.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Piper's Avenue. Here you were expressing concern regarding the loss of the garage, and here there was a playroom or something coming out, wasn't there? So these are sort of 1960s buildings which have got a sort of flat roof garage sticking out, and they want to go out beyond that and put a head roof on it.
Yes, because I was looking at the driveway and I was thinking, well, by the time they brought it out, they were going to bring it out quite a long way and move, I think they were moving the garage as well. And I thought, well,
I it's quite a precedent to take with
Yes.
these houses.
Because they're all the same. There's not-
So,
So A, it's going to be local parking,
Yeah.
that's just a wide angle lens.
I'm quite happy to take your comments to actually put the recommend refusal in front of them.
Oh, okay.
I would too, based on the precedent that it would set in that neighbouring.
So they're making it 4 bedrooms.
No extra bedrooms. It's a 4-bedroom property already.
But single story front and rear extension.
Yes, they're making it into,
So the playroom at the front and the room is going to be a kitchen in the back.
study games room, and the shower room just behind it.
Which could easily be a bedroom.
Could be, yeah.
Could be.
But either way,
Either way, it's
cramped and insufficient parking.
increase in
Yes.
practical space with sufficient parking space.
So, we'll take out express concern and recommend refusal.
Yep.
Now, the summer house at La Finca, so this is a retrospective application. And I did ask Nim just to have a look at and see if there was any guidance that we could have in terms of what's permitted or not. There's nothing in here, is there? No policies?
I went through every page.
No, okay.
I couldn't find it.
So Class E, as they describe it, any building or enclosure with swimming or other pool required for a purpose incidental to the enjoyment of dwelling as such, or the maintenance and improvement of other alterations to the building or enclosure. Output, so presumably then it's classed as an outbuilding, are considered to be permitted development, not require an application for planning permission, provided the following conditions are met. If they're forward of the principal elevation, outbuildings and other additions must not exceed 50% of total land around that. So outbuildings must be single story with a maximum eaves height of 2.5 metres and a maximum overall height of 4 metres if they've got a dual pitch roof, or 3 metres in any other case. And then if it's within 2 metres of the property boundary, the whole building should not exceed 2.5 metres in height. Okay.
Or if it's in what the boundary?
Sorry, if the outbuilding is within 2 metres of the property boundary, the whole building should not exceed 2.5 metres in height.
Is that for
Yeah, that was permitted earlier, wasn't it? So that's the
okay,
reason
so
they.
they're coming forward for an application now.
So that's the reason they need the application.
Right, okay. Right, so we're saying then we're looking at this in isolation then, because that's why the application is coming forward. Right, so we've got a number of objections from people. Noise, appearance, this is not a summer house, it's a game room stroke.
The only places I could find it that I got noise is like the exit, but I didn't know it actually tied to this particular.
That I'm guessing would be environmental compliance issue, isn't it? As opposed to planning.
And also, I guess the complaints are now stemming from the actual use of the room as opposed to which is not what we're doing.
So, and then this thing is 5 metres by 6.5 metres, so this is quite large. So we can
Excuse my ignorance, but what, 2.5 metres in feet?
8 feet.
2.5?
8 feet.
Okay, so it's definitely...
So it'll be sticking above the fence.
Yeah, it doesn't plan permission just because it's over.
Yeah.
It's probably because they're so big. If you have a slope, it makes it, because it's quite a big area.
Yeah. So, obviously we can expect this appointment. This has come forward as on a retrospective basis. Do we feel that this is too much?
If it's exceeding the height spec, which it should have,
Well, that's why they come forward. That's why they're being pushed now for a number of concerns today. I mean, clearly it is not an enormous big issue. It's, you know, it's starting at, well, it's 2.9 metres effectively. Maybe it goes up to 3 on the, sorry, yeah, it goes to 3.2, doesn't it? So it slopes from 3.2 down to 2.9.
Yeah, unfortunately it's very difficult. I think anything retrospectively, you know, you have to consider looking at this approach. If it wasn't there already, and looking at this on the table, would you suggest approval or refusal based on neighbours? So that's how you have to look at it. And also mentioned today before the meeting, because I've got a personal interest in that, I know two of the neighbours, I won't get involved in the decision we make on it.
If I, from my point of view, looking at this, the garden is pretty big, actually, and within that size garden, it's not a huge building. It seems to me that someone's changed the use of it, and that's the cause of the objection.
Well, they feel, I guess they feel it's a big building and it's been sold to planners. Sorry, it's been sold to us as a summer house, when in actual fact it's a sort of pool house stroke games room.
So summer house is the wrong description.
Yeah. Although,
It's just an extension, really, isn't it? It's just an additional...
well, it's a garden.
Yeah, a garden room.
Yeah.
I don't know how... I've not come across this at all.
Well,
since May.
Yeah, we...
And outbuilding as such.
And there's quite a lot of people who've got offices there, but they're of a different scale to us. But they've probably got the same sort of roof line. So we did one in Robinson Avenue quite recently, and it's up now. And it's
By it being called a summer house, why does it have sanitary fittings and everything else in it? It's not a summer house if it has sanitary fittings.
no, well,
Well, I would argue it's not a habitable room, but I just don't know how policy fits with people cooking.
I mean, if it's
habitable room. To my mind, it's no different than having a dwelling in a garden.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
But it's how strongly you feel that, unfortunately,
Because you've got all the drainage and you've got all that, and then therefore it's not what they're applying for.
It's a habitable building, isn't it? Not something.
well, it's, you know, it's a changing into a pool. So, you know, rather than being in the pool, you have to be in the clothes. Lovely. But whether we would see that describing it as habitable, if this was an application coming forward in the west of London, you'd be thinking, who are they going to put up in there? But of course here it's for the users of the pool, and presumably the kids who have a pool table or something, presumably in this space. Okay, so we're struggling into a policy firm. If this had come forward, I would have approved it. I would have.
I think I would have done too.
We have to go with what's right.
We might have expressed concern about the height, but I'm not even sure because it's so far down the garden as well.
The back one is right up on the other one.
yes, it's difficult because you know, like the existing trees were removed before it was built, you know, so you can't take any of that into consideration now because it's retrospective. They'll find penalties on anybody stealing.
I mean, when they say about noise, when you've got someone house there, and they're making noise, they can make as much noise as they want.
Yeah. I think it's very hard to refuse this, actually. Yeah.
To be fair.
So the committee is disappointed to be considering this application retrospectively. Are we expressing concern about the proximity to the boundary?
I'm just wondering, the consequences of allowing this, right? It is, could it be the next door neighbour just I told them to that one just the same because there's a president?
Yeah.
Okay. Or, well, if you allow something retrospectively and somebody next door does exactly the same thing, does that then set a precedent for things? Or?
And unfortunately as well, we just got to hear this is a conservation area.
So that explains why they wrote the tree there, because I assumed it was conservation area, so what were they doing taking trees?
I don't know, they use the jargon too.
Right.
And this one's in the conservation area.
Well, could we say something like, allow because it is built, or, something that says, if something happens to that, like a court farm, and then they want to build another one, maybe we won't let you build another one.
It's one thing or another, I think.
Okay.
You can't, and I see that kind of sets a precedent. Like you said, you were worried about having.
I know, yeah. I mean, the other thing is whether that should have been a little bit further away from the boundary. Would it have been better if it was a bit further away from the boundary? Okay, so should we express concern at the location of the building so close to the boundary, within 2 metres of the boundary with number 15, presumably?
It must be very visible for neighbours next door when they look down their garden, I would have thought.
Yeah. So we're expressing disappointment.
Honestly, all the trees around the whole boundary of the garden is They put up new
So it could be quite nice.
greening, but it's going to be a long time before that's
Okay, so we're expressing concern and we're doing it on the basis that it's too close to the boundary, given that this policy seems to be based around 2 metres from the boundary. So it's within 2 metres of the boundary number 15. Right. Let's press on. Okay, so this next one is a rebuild in West Common Grove. So the previous Harpenden committee had no objection, but the Williams refused it. And scale bulk mapping, and then they also had a bit of a go on materials as well. And then you're suggesting no objection provided previous reasons for refusal have been addressed. So that's a I don't think this committee or my committee.
I don't really know.
So was it just about the balcony?
I think I remember seeing this one.
You were concerned about a balcony at the rear?
Oh, I think it was that actually.
I think we saw that. I think that's
it was,
because it's the one with the big balcony. We were worried about the balcony.
Okay.
I think it.
Yeah, I don't think the whole had a problem with balcony, though, did they?
It's not mentioned.
No. So I looked at it. They reduced the roof line on both stories by 550.
Yeah.
The two front gables have been fixed. I guess you
Yep.
can fix my gable.
Well, that is
Right. Regarding the balcony, I've looked at it again. There's screening all around the property, so I don't have much of a problem with it, to be honest. Where are we? 35 metres, the closest responsible dwelling to remove the building, but I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so we're happy to go with no objection provided previous reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, can I just say that there was an objection on this thing, and they were saying, they're saying the roof height has just reduced a bit, and they're just saying this remains a 3-storey, 6-bedroom property, so I can see from the original street scene that it was just a single level bungalow, and now it's like this,
Yeah.
But
there's precedent around that.
there are, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that one.
So is this the corner with, which one is it?
Well, it's just along Westminster Road.
Okay.
So,
Actually, I mean, the district will be more concerned about the material, won't they,
This is
and
the one that they switched around, isn't it?
the projecting engagement.
but certainly the hit the roof has reduced the impact of acid and consumption.
It has, right, they changed the material.
Okay,
So
right.
that's not
Yeah.
addressed, so we can...
To allow it.
Yeah. 25 Leighton Road is one that we've asked us to consider, so this is actually right next door here. And so, St Albans refused it last time. I had a look, and I was trying to spot the difference here, and I couldn't see the
I had
difference.
terrible trouble, actually, that's why I left it.
Right. Okay, so I can't remember if it was this. I've got a feeling this was. Yeah, and I can't. Having looked at the plans again, I can't understand why we accept that.
Right, what did we ask? What did I see? Right, first of all, St Albans District Council had a problem, I believe, with last time with there's something to do with the tree in the park and
At the back.
At the back. I can't find a tree report, there wasn't one online, so I couldn't check anything there. The ridge height on the roof line has been lowered slightly on the second-storey extension. Changes made to the dormer, and an additional rear window has been added on the ground floor. So there have been a couple of changes. It's been called in both ways by Councillor Twitchell.
Okay, right.
So, okay, there's concerns about the construction work being too close to protect the trees before, and that they would most likely end up having further work if the build went ahead. That was a major issue as well.
Okay, so, but I'd have to say that the first bit of this, by reason of design size, scale, of proposed development will be incongruous. I don't think there's.
No, I mean,
No.
looking at what they're planning to do, it's
Yeah.
all right for me.
And then I've got X-Mark spot, which has been where the changes have been.
But it's, yeah.
So these are sort of like where we've made changes to the roof line, they've just dropped it slightly.
Ever so slightly.
I think so, yeah.
It's almost as if it's done exactly to appease what we said.
It's five-fold doors, etc. isn't it, that we've got.
Yeah. Okay,
So it's just made to
So what were you made to be concerned about that you just weren't surprised to work back?
well, there's a huge flank wall, this sort of parapet wall is there.
Just elevation.
Yeah, which is basically the centre. And I mean, I can sort of understand where St Albans are coming from.
Yeah,
in
okay.
terms of,
Yeah, because I did look up with
Okay, so the front actually isn't changing.
no,
It's very,
minor.
yeah, so it's a real extension.
So, either we express concern saying that the previous reasons do not appear to have been addressed, or we just recommend refusal of previous reasons don't appear to be.
But it's difficult if we haven't checked.
Well, you know, we're looking at it afresh to
Yeah.
use the decorations.
Different committees, well.
Yeah. Well, are we happy with that?
Yeah.
What was the, sorry?
So we're recommending refusal.
Mhm.
The committee did not feel that the previous reasons for refusal in terms of design, size and scale of the proposed development. Well, it's just listing out of here really. So those previous reasons had not been addressed. And then of course, so 69, 22 and 85 because of the conservation area. Right. So we've done 34 Park Avenue. One more avenue. Yeah, I don't have an objection to that. What did you look at it?
I didn't look at this one, no.
Okay,
No.
well, happy to go with the recommendation
Yep.
on that. No comment required by the committee. And then 39 Barnes Dean, again, trying to spot the difference with the previous application. We did express concern last time, but it was permitted, so no objection.
Yeah, there's just some alterations.
It's a bit better actually, isn't it? Because they're
Yeah.
taking the sort of skirt around the top of the ground floor.
That's right, yeah, this is then made mine,
Oh,
alterations.
Have they taken it back from the boundary line?
No, exactly the same.
Is that 2 stories?
Well, they have taken it back from the boundary.
Yeah, I thought that.
It's one of these pits where there was a sort of wraparound, so if that's the second story element. There was a first floor, there was a ground floor element with a little, I'd describe it as like a little skirt type effect going round.
Yeah.
So they've done away with that, so it is better against the boundary, but not at first floor level, it's better at first floor level, which is the problem with the property next door. Okay, no objection. Right. 6 Sun Lane. Given the site that we put up over the development to the rear of Bowers Way, the Sun Lane guys are piling in now with their own extensions. But this is relatively modest, I think, isn't it? Single story, side and rear. So I was content with that. That wasn't where that guy lived, was it?
Oh, I'm just thinking. He was...
Sorry? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just, there's no objections on that, is there?
No. I mean, he had that extension, didn't he? He had that room going backwards. Anyway. He was hugely... Did he write to you? He wrote to me.
Would you want to pass that on to him so I can pretend he wrote to me as well?
I'll see if I can find it. It is good to get feedback actually, because you sometimes
I
wonder...
must admit, I was surprised that there was like,
You know, we're here till bloody 9 o'clock on every other week, and but he did appreciate.
And Saturday morning.
And Saturday morning, yeah. And we had to worry about getting his carpet dirty as well. He had to take our shoes off. Right, that's enough of that. These are 2 properties together now, aren't they? 49 Crossway, who are each putting 49, 47, who are each putting 2-story rear extensions on.
Sorry.
There was a letter of support for both of these actually.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
which is unusual.
Okay.
Yeah, but who's that from?
The
Well,
person, no, well it could be of course, but
That's just silly.
it was someone who was pleased to see this house being upgraded, so it's happy.
Sorry, where are we? Just...
We're in Crossway,
Okay, just...
49.
Did we miss number
We missed
1
one,
more?
right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, one more amendment.
I thought we'd done that.
Well, there's 2, actually.
Okay, are they significantly different?
Yeah, well,
So So we had rear dormer, roof light, a new window to enclose rear
Oh, yeah, and
balcony.
this one's the single-story side rear extension.
Okay. Right. I didn't look at this one, I must have got all of them mixed up.
So, yeah, very consistent, I think. The single-story rear, single-story side and rear is only a metre deep. I just didn't think it was very much tall. Did you think it was modest?
Well, it sounds modest.
Have you looked?
No, I haven't looked at the one.
Yeah, replacement glazed loop garage.
Yes, in fact, the link is already there and they produced it. Yeah, it's all very...
So it's close to the school, isn't it? It's near St Hilda's.
Yes, it is. But it's all, as I say, this is the link.
Yeah.
And so that was bigger, that came out there, so they've made it smaller. There's an old 50 extension, so this is only a metre wide. So they've put that in there, and they've put a door window in there, and they've put some roof lights in there.
Okay, but it is locally listed.
Yes.
So appropriate design use materials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Some of those houses, well, I think that one in particular needed a bit of TLC and different. Yeah. So then crossway, we've got these two-storey rear extensions on either end of the centre. So I have no objection to those.
No, the only one that was 49, I just wanted to make sure that 51, because it was a slightly different extension to 47, was just of note.
I haven't looked, I confess, at Factory Lane, Swansea Avenue, Dalkeith Road. Is there anything that you want to sport or attention?
Have we done 105 Factory Lane?
Yeah,
That's what we're on.
that's what I was just mentioning.
That's one of those. Right, 105 Factory Lane, again, I found it, this is quite an easy one. There's access through from the front garden to the rear. They're bringing the garage forward but retaining to the garage, and it's going to be an additional bedroom and 5. First floor is pulled in from the boundary. I felt that they conformed with all the planning guidelines, no loss of amenity. The first floor window is going to be obscurely glazed.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. This is not Pip's lovely house, is it?
No, but actually this is somebody else I know, so it's never personal, but not keenly interested or anything. But the only thing I would say about that is that they're putting a gable end in, aren't they? But so that's, I think that part of Crabtree Lane is actually they're all quite in line with each other, but as is always the case, the further down the road you get, then you start getting a mishmash again.
Right.
So it will be a shame. I think it will affect the street team this end. But you know, the precedent's already been
Okay, so you want to...
road. So
Are you happy with it now?
yeah, they put this around to even go past Preston Town or if it's already in the street, further up the road.
Okay, the length of the avenue?
This is just a single story rear extension, 3 metres.
Okay.
They're big properties, so it's
Yeah. 5 Dalkeith Road, 2-storey front and side extensions.
This one, what have we got? Additional areas. I think this is the one.
And this has got an outbuilding.
What is that?
An outbuilding.
Actually, the outbuilding.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
This one confused me a little bit.
To accommodate Jim.
Yes. That's the extra bit which I was a little bit confused about at first when I was looking at this. When I went online to Mr. Google Maps, I couldn't figure out, because it just looked like next to the house there was this extra seem to belong to the house.
Right.
But it's actually on the outline of the plan it does, and that's where this outbuilding is, and so that's where all the extra parking is. It's all down here. Just along there. Extra parking goes down there, and that's where there's an outbuilding there. There's already, if you look on Beam, you can see that there's already something there. That's what they're going to do there.
And let's just have a look at the outbuilding. And then this has got a pitched roof on it.
Quite a lot of work.
There's quite a bit.
Five Dartmouth Road.
Is that right on? Has that got access then from the road? Yeah.
Is that a pathway?
Yeah, that, which I thought, does that belong to that house? So it's screening along there.
That's the front.
Yeah.
It's quite a wide pathway. It almost looks like a drive.
That is their drive.
It is their drive.
Goes all the way down. See, but what threw me was because they have got a garage already there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
And I
right.
thought, oh, that can't belong to them there.
Yeah. The wall
So
on
then-
the right.
So the people I'd be worried about are the people who sort of live behind here. So these are people on Station Road. Who
It's
have
very, very similar.
to look at this.
Mm.
So it's right close to the boundary.
Like coexisting.
Oh yeah, existing gym.
And erection of a new one. So
I don't know if the roof line is that.
Erecting outbuilding, double garage and store. Rear of the gym is proposed.
right, now I'm really confused.
So whereabouts is it?
Because the new outbuilding is to accommodate the gym.
Okay, so it's not the first house, which is sort of on Station Road, it's the next one in.
So am I looking here or here?
It's this side,
This side.
yeah.
Right, so let me just get
Just
rid of
zoom in
my,
a bit more.
get rid of my label. Right, I won't zoom in anymore. I can turn them around.
No, can you just move it up a bit, because I think we're missing the house. So probably the perspective, yeah, where you've got your hand now is
Yeah.
the house.
That house there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Is it really?
yeah.
Yeah, because that's the driveway down there.
Right, okay, yes.
And then the square
And
bit,
that bit there.
so whether that's the existing gym or not.
So it looks kind of enclosed, isn't it?
So that's the house it would affect by
Mm.
rights, isn't it?
Quite a long way, isn't
So
it?
it is a long way away.
Yeah. Do you want to just spin it round just 90 degrees?
That way?
Yeah, go on, sure.
Sometimes you have to spin it round all the way to get the whole perspective. So that, is that it there?
Well, that's the outbuilding, yeah. So the house is behind it.
Go the other way, and again.
I mean, you go-
Oh, there you go. Sometimes you get a slight
now you can
picture.
see the
Oh, there it is there. See?
It's winter now or spring.
Yeah, sun shining. And it's, sorry.
You spend so much time on Google Maps then.
Yeah, and that's the house there. It won't affect this one here, will it? Because it's, so it's got a flat roof at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's what, is it not one? Yeah.
Population maybe.
No, that's the,
Oh, sorry,
that's
the
the
house
house
is down
there,
there.
that's the
Yeah.
driveway, and this is the,
Right.
that's the thing there, so it's against the, what sort of roof did you say?
well, it's got a pitch roof.
Pitch roof, pitch roof.
Okay, so this, basically at some stage they got rid of the end of
Somebody's garden.
somebody's got these two
That's what it looks like, isn't
gardens.
it?
So that's the existing,
So
that's
there's-
going to be the the new one.
So they're going to be, so they're going
Well,
to be the
except-
front bit.
I haven't got any plans yet.
Which includes,
Directing outbuildings, double garage and store. You haven't got any plans for that, have you? Oh Christ, is the gym going to link up with the basement?
Where?
Sure.
Basement to rear with demolition.
Is there any
existing
tunnels?
basement to rear with demolition of existing outbuilding.
From a new outbuilding to accommodate gym. So they're getting rid of one building and putting a new one up. This is really where is a new building substantially different.
Well, that's what it shows, isn't it? And these are light wells then, aren't they, on there, presumably? So
What,
the
like in the garden, in the...
in the Louvre? No?
What, they're going to build a small company?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that.
Well, yeah, there's the stairs coming up. So you go down the stairs there, presumably. You can walk underneath here, and then pop
Oh,
up.
yeah.
You won't even
That's
get wet.
creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
George, this is what you need to aspire to.
Right,
A
this
building
is my
control.
future life.
Well, this is where it takes you to a noisy gym, away from the house.
But yeah, not if it's raining, you'd have to run through the garden.
And there's a steam room down there as well.
So presumably lots of people will use it as rather than just one or two people.
Do you think they'll let me move in?
Yeah.
Right. Do we have any objections though? Do we?
I can't think of an objection right now unless the outbuilding is
Taken 3 years to build it.
dramatically different, you know, to what was there.
Okay. So there's an underground entertainment zone, gym, steam room, access to upper gym, light room.
But is that already there? Isn't that already there?
What,
The basement's there already, right?
Yes.
No, the basement is part of the application, I think.
Is that the existing?
I'm suddenly really confused.
Yeah, it isn't there at the moment, is it?
The one I would be more worried about would be the new outbuilding versus the old one.
So the pitched roof.
Wait, aren't they just linking it up? Look at this. They're linking. That's the proposed link up of the house to the. So all of this is being. This bit. There's a roof here.
No, this is...
I'm really confused. That's the house, right?
Oh, right, this says that the outbuilding is down the end of the garden.
Well, they're calling that
Yeah.
garage, but I couldn't see any plans for that.
Well, that goes on, doesn't it? So that goes all the way down to the trees. That's that tree there.
Existing.
That shows the whole garden.
Can we magnify that?
I can't get to the, I don't think I can get to the place
Okay, right.
where you can't get.
Okay.
I reckon it can't be okay. It can't be on the
Right.
garage down there.
2-storage front and home.
So, we've got a pitched roof, which must be. Well, I presume it's 4 and a bit metres. I mean, you can't really see that because there are all trees in the way, aren't there? Which is, sort of shot themselves in the foot a bit there.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
that's the side extension. That's the side and rear extension that's linking it up to the back.
So that these are going to be
It's
lights
outside.
that you walk on the terrace.
yeah.
So I mean, I just can't see that one.
No, I don't quite know what, because that's not
There
part,
wasn't planning permission.
no, there wasn't a request for that, was there?
I think the only thing we can really comment on is the outbuilding, isn't it, really, so whether that's significantly different.
Yeah.
And it's got a pitched roof versus a flat roof. So the question is the pitched roof of that really a problem? I don't blame someone putting in a pitched roof rather than a flat roof.
Well, it's more attractive in some respects.
Yeah.
It's more durable.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to have to replace the belt every 10 years or so. But are we concerned about the impact it has on the properties in Station Road? They're far enough away.
They've got long gardens, haven't they? I mean, it's...
And there's something there already that's very similar.
Yeah, that's right. So they're going to see a pitch roof rather than some...
Yeah, and it will probably look nicer than...
I would have thought it would look nicer as well, actually. What policy is in effect?
Yeah, I would probably too.
Okay. Can you live with a pitch roof on the gym? From some angles it looks fine. I know that it seems to sort of dominate. But
if they looked at this from an upper window, a pitch roof would look more attractive than looking down onto a flat roof.
yeah,
I would prefer to look onto a pitch roof.
Yeah.
It's going to be durable.
okay. Well, I mean, this is where you need planning officers rather than trying to.
Yeah.
Just so much information.
So I think we're saying no objection.
Yes.
Yeah, let's have that. Yeah. To the properties in Station Road.
Yeah, that's right. No loss of amenity to surrounding properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Taking us long enough.
Right.
No loss of amenity.
Right. Now you responded at length in respect to Thornbury. No objection in principle to the design of the previous reasons for the refusal with regard to the design appear to have been addressed. However, concerns are still raised with regard to the loss of garage space.
The worry there was parking, wasn't it?
Right, previous application was refused due to the pitched roof. Oh, yes, St Albans said there was a pitched roof on, and it would be detrimentally affecting the street scene, and it was dismissed as appeal. They've now put a flat roof, because it was a conversion of the garage and a front extension. They've now put a flat roof on the garage and they've put a little porch on the side, and so therefore I felt that it wasn't out of keeping. So I just wanted to comply with the planning officers and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So basically,
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Now Chesterton Avenue, which.
Sorry, what were we going to say that we were still concerned about parking?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, concerned about.
Yeah, okay, sorry, yes.
So 20 Chesterton Avenue, I know this is one that Sunday looked at, and this is one that we recommended a refusal and then it was withdrawn and it's come back again.
Yes.
Were you able to see the difference?
I must admit, I found this very confusing to look at online.
Difference, like downside, side of smaller scale, two-story extension and single-story. Side extension.
But what has happened to the garage?
She looked at so many, it's like, I can't remember. Sometimes I like them in the top.
The previous application.
Yeah, that's the previous.
So can we just have a, without them getting mixed up?
Oh, right. That's the new application. And that's the old application. Right, okay. So, basically, I've taken out that extension there, and I think the hatch marking is a two-storey side, so there's downsides along there. That's right.
Which is it?
So hang on, this is, it's actually bigger, is it? So this is the current application, that's the previous one. So they've added that on there.
Yeah, right, okay. Part, so this is a part single, part double side extension from this side. Side of 21. Smaller scale two-storey extension and single storey.
Yeah, what is,
Two-storey side extension on the other side. So whether they
Because I thought the thing was in, that this was the garage. So they were losing their garage, which meant they were losing the parking space.
Right, this is previous application. So that was the previous one.
So all the action is going on this side. Down there, and presumably, was that the garage at the back there? Does it say on that?
it's not letting things set back in the room. So they're preventing access.
Oh, that's the garage there.
That's right, they're moving it from there to there, the garage.
Well, they're putting parking spaces,
Oh, okay.
but they're still losing access to that garage at the back.
Yes.
So what didn't they have two parking spaces before, but they're putting more bedrooms in, aren't they?
So is the new bit bigger? I thought it was smaller.
I've got three parking spaces on the side. Why have I got
So reduce this bit at the back.
Have a look at that.
Just, I think like 7 cars.
Okay, so this is December. So we've got 5 bedrooms, and we've got this two-storey element there. And here we've just got, we've got a staircase, and then there's only a single-storey element in front of it. So we've got this bit on the side, which is two-storey, and that's single-storey.
Yeah, they cut it back here. They cut it back here.
Yeah, and so it's not so close to the house next door. But they've put a lot of inside over here.
That's right, they cut back this stuff at the back here, and then put all of that onto the side.
Yes, that's right. They've added it the other side.
Yes.
So before we said the proposal is an overdevelopment of the site which could create an unacceptable impact on 21 Chesterton Avenue. Concerns also expressed that there was a garage insufficient parking with the full on the site. So
presumably this is big enough that you could drive down and use this garage.
I think it's gotten worse.
They've taken a chunk from there and they've pulled it over to this side where you've got more ground on this side.
Yeah.
What they've done.
Yeah, so there's no road access now to where a garage could be, they've got room.
So this is, yeah. So where it was going to be here, where it would affect the neighbours, are they pulling it that side? That's what they're saying?
yeah,
Yes.
but there is still going to be a little bit of a two-storey element on that side. So
But not so much.
So I think the major issues here were lack of parking and lack of community space as well, isn't it?
It was tight, wasn't it? But
It is plenty of parking. Otherwise it's three parking spaces, but there's only two parking spaces there, which...
there's sort of one where that car is, and then they're going to put some behind the hedge there.
So they were losing their front community space. I've got a feeling that was that was the same issue that we had before, was that they would have to do that, take out their green space at the front,
Which is, yeah,
and
so
there
there.
isn't leaving enough at the back.
Okay, so we recommended refusal before. We can either still recommend refusal, but we can't put so much emphasis on the impact on number 21. And then before we were expressing concerns about the rest of the garage.
I think that there doesn't seem to be much parking, to me, how they've done in doing that. That's what I
So,
see the biggest concern.
Are we going to leave it simply that we express concern in relation to insufficient parking? Or
I
do we
think
still
we
feel
felt
it's
it
overdevelopment?
was overdevelopment on that corner part.
Can we say that
I don't know if they,
I'm surprised they don't do that. Get rid of this and then just focus around this bit here. Right? Then they've got all the parking they want. I just think there's not enough parking.
Well, I certainly agree.
I
We're agreed on
appreciate
the...
they're taking away the
Yes.
impact on the property
Yes,
over here.
Yeah,
yes.
but now... Well, can I just be a pain and ask you to go to Street View? And just, can you just swing around this road and just get a view? Because probably the camera's higher than the head anyway.
Yes.
Uh, 20 Chesterton. Right.
that's 34,
So I think if you carry on down...
94?
That way?
Yeah, I think so. And Chesterton Avenue is a little confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Now we're actually looking to the house which has got lots of cars and vans and buses outside it.
I think that was one thing that we were mindful of, that we'd be pushing more vehicles onto the corner there.
Yeah, we don't know, we're lost.
What?
Just swing around a minute.
I wish they'd improve their sign.
Head down towards that van at the
That
end.
one there? Oh, yes, that's
Turn that road.
bad.
Yeah.
It's right, I think we're on right there.
No. Do you want to just come out and go into
What's it at the top then? It's actually 14.
I think
Can we
it's
just plug in the
34 or
number?
94 or...
Do you want...
My eyesight's going.
You must be near it.
Well, they're sort of back to back. I think you've got to go into the sort of plan view. Yeah. So go back to the map. Yeah.
See where we are.
So click the top bar there. No.
There.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. No. Well, actually, click that sort of satellite view next to it and see whether that will open up. So just to the right, there's a box with a satellite view.
Go down
To
a
the right.
fraction and press
Oh,
right
there.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
double
sorry.
click on that. See where that takes us. Okay, so you need to go towards Crabtree School and into the next hammerhead. So where the arrow is now, go down there and then to the right.
Down here,
No, to the right.
to the right there.
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly there. So if you can get to there.
Come on.
It's on that corner.
Right, shall I
So,
try and
yeah,
get
so
Google?
go-
Actually, yeah, then that's a good idea to do that first.
Take Google man there.
Yeah.
There?
No. There, yeah.
There?
Who knows?
Where am I? Am I Chesterton Avenue? It says Chesterton
Yeah.
Avenue, doesn't it?
Yeah, spin round so we can just...
We're not going to find it, are we?
It might be that.
Oh, down there?
No.
Down there?
That's it. That's it.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah,
No, the house is the one on...
the right.
On the right, you were...
so turn round, you want to go up.
There?
Honestly, you just press one button.
What did we do with planning applications before we had Google Street Maps Day?
Oh, we've got...
Um,
We'll find it again. There was the house, he had this...
You just turn around
He had the
and...
silver events outside.
Oh my God.
No, don't do that.
No.
Turn around, you're there. Woo.
Oh, there.
no, right.
Right.
Oh, look, there's a man.
Right, yeah. So the house is where the cherry tree is.
Oh, there.
No, the other side.
Right.
Oh, right. Oh,
Using that little arrow thing.
there.
Yeah,
Oh, there.
that's the one.
Yeah.
So shit. How can you put a block where that shed is?
Exactly.
Did it get wider?
Yeah,
It's about
set back from the-
it's 3.5 metres.
3.5 metres.
3.5 metres projecting out on the side of that.
To be fair, that actually, there has been a precedent for that. So if you look at places like Ashley Gardens, even down Kingsbourne Close where I live, there are houses which have that shape, and then what they end up looking like, they actually look quite nice in the end.
Yeah.
And I can imagine.
Oh, it'll certainly improve the appearance, but is it too much to be coming out 3.5 metres
Is
there?
it coming up to his boundary?
I still think it's loads of development.
I mean,
Okay.
is that... He's not even cutting it in, is he? Like you're standing
No.
It's going to
Okay.
take quite a change
So-
to that street scene.
Exactly.
Can we express concern on recommending refusal, or do you want recommending refusal?
I would
Okay, that's fine.
recommend refusal.
Okay, let's go with recommend
Sorry.
refusal.
Okay.
The committee considers the proposal remains an overdevelopment of the site. But drop off, don't say the bit about 21 Chesterton Avenue
No.
now.
Yeah, totally.
And then concern is also expressed with loss of the garage, insufficient parking provided for this for this five.
I mean, do we even know how big the garden is? But we're losing that bit. We can't even make
Well,
a bit.
it's going to be,
That bit.
it was 100 square metres, isn't it? That, I'm sure that must be big, isn't it?
No.
So, what have you got about
Yeah. But also refer to the fact now, because it's, we know for certain now the 5-bedroom property. There's insufficient parking for this 5-bedroom property.
Is it 40 plus 20 for every bedroom?
But where do you start? You start at 1 bedroom, or do you start at... So 40, so 2 bedroom,
60, 80, 100,
20.
120. We've got an idea of it.
It probably is big enough, but yeah, you see, they're going to bring that right out to that boundary, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's move on. Oh, bloody, this is another difficult one. 6 Browning Road. So this is quite a sizable detached house in Browning Road off Station Road. Plans to put 2 detached houses, accommodation in the roof space.
I actually think this looks better
Do you?
than what is there at present.
Is it not too much?
No, if we,
Oh, I
the
know.
existing street scene, it's got this great big rear dormer thing here.
Yeah.
Looks awful. And then you're replacing it with 2 family-sized homes, which
Okay.
I think is what we kind of need.
Well, so when you just look at the homes individually, you wonder about the relationship with the house, the houses either side. But in actual fact, the ridge height isn't too bad.
No.
No.
Now, inevitably, when you're sitting 2 where there is 1, there is an issue of the rearward projection, and I think the land falls away. and we're into sort of 45-degree territory here, not least because there's a sort of patio, it's sort of built up at the back. Where's it best illustrated? Probably
And I can understand it because this is the key road for getting into the wall.
It probably is.
So I can understand it and sort that first.
Yeah.
Location.
So, where's the explanation of the 45 degrees?
It is possibly 72.
So that's two-story. So this is not two-story, but it almost is because of the way the land drops away. So, but Rod, you're proposing that this is doable. The other thing here is sort of parking, because they're putting the garages forward.
Well, they're saying they can get two here and they've got a garage.
You don't really rely on what happens over here, which is the...
Well, it's only whether they're bringing them forward of the existing...
Yeah, they are. Because they've got two garages on this one. And I've come across this architect before. He's taking quite a bit of space at the front there. And so you can't really park a car in front of the garage.
No, I understand.
So there are three parking spaces technically. Albeit there's no landscaping being offered. It didn't look quite stark.
So they've got...
It would look similar to...
They've got existing trees, haven't they?
Or if you go up to the close in Harpenden North, and they had the two houses that were built from one of older houses, and they kind of look similar to that, where you have an executive patio going up to the house. So it doesn't look horrendous because there's no green space. It just looks very smart.
I think the building on that, there's two semis down Grove Road which have got a similar appearance, and also if you go into Harpenden and cross over Bowers, is it Bowers Way?
Yeah, there's two or three houses along.
There's a couple of houses there next to the alleyway where you walk over the bridge.
It's quite normal, but the trick is, particularly in these smarter streets, are you going to offer some landscaping now? And I'd certainly be expecting to learn that there isn't any landscaping to the front. I think the other, I'm quite happy to go along and not refuse it, but the other thing I would be highlighting is the rear projections do have an impact on the 45-degree line.
I agree. And so we can express
They're only a single story, but because the land is falling away.
Yes.
So, committee expressed concern about the impact on the neighbouring properties. What?
Just looking at how close they are to the boundaries from this side.
Well, it's tight. It might be a metre.
Yeah. That's smaller.
The boundaries, isn't it? Opposed to
The join between the...
can't tell if they've got this.
they've got that there. So that suggests it might well come up to the boundary.
I thought they had to be about 0.8 metres away from the boundary. So we could express concern as to proximity to the boundary.
Okay, so there were...
obviously the garages, they'll get away with it anyway, won't they? Because the garages...
sitting in front of. Although it doesn't really come across in the plan, doesn't it? The property goes...
Is it on there? No, on there. The next one.
So presumably it sits in a bit when you see
The first floor.
Yes, there was a bit behind the garage there.
So that's why we get away from metering from there, isn't it?
Okay, so the committee had a number of concerns. In view of the extent of the rearward projection,
Have there been any objections to all from neighbours?
the committee was concerned about the impact of the single-storey but raised kitchen breakfast room projection. I think it's projections all the time. And the committee also expressed concern about the lack of landscaping offered on the front, soft landscaping.
Are we worried about proximity to one boundary?
Yeah.
But also you've got a fence partition here, but it's the other side, which is...
Well, so this is right up to the boundary.
This one.
So we're also expressing concern about that plot, the property on plot 1 is built right up to the boundary with number 8. And can we also add that the forward projection of the garage appears to preclude parking in front of the garage.
Yeah, not so much the
building line as was. Can you press that into something? Okay.
So to be honest, like Rob said, this is going to be an improvement.
Yeah, how that was.
So something objective to that.
You can probably see the gondola from that top image there. Right, 42 Dalkeith Road. Yeah, I was quite happy with that. Riverbank, I was happy with that. Northern Road, we don't need to comment. Then we had a change of, well, it's the removal of the conditions. So presumably there was something about consulting with
We've seen this a couple of times before.
Oh, have you? Right.
Yeah. So we've seen this a couple of times and we had no objection to it.
Brilliant, okay. So then, Wells Close. Oh, I couldn't follow the plan for this. It sounds shocking.
We're on 5/2015, 3617.
The revised plan is on the extension has been approved by Harpenden Town Council Chamber and Harpenden depth. The chimney has been replaced by a flue and we had no objections previously.
Right, so I'm happy with that. Yeah. Okay, land to the rear of 1552 Lee Road.
Is that to the right of
To the rear.
Oh, right.
Sorry, that's the right of, to the rear of. So this is actually on Woodley Road.
That's the one we looked at before, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we looked at it back in 2014 when it was just a single modest 2-bedroom dwelling. Then they came back and it had sort of shoulders on it, which were went across the width of the plot. And St Albans refused that. And now they've come back again as a more simple, but nevertheless still two properties on this plot behind, to the rear of the two houses in the road.
Previous one that was,
That was all the two action, which was refused.
yeah.
So actually, they have garages as well. They did have garages.
Yes, the garages have been removed and the parking outside now. Two off-road spaces, because of the size. The overall size has been reduced. The design has been altered, so they're cottage style now with gable ends. Community space should be 80 square metres.
But nevertheless, four, right on the edge. I think it's a bit too small. I could be persuaded that we're expressing concern rather than refusal.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I looked at the previous one that was refused, there were an awful lot of objections there, and there were none
On this one,
On this one.
yes, true, very true.
But I don't know whether sometimes people think that, they're not aware something's changed.
And also if there's been enough time.
Yeah, that's right, yes, they did a lot of work.
Or they lose the will to live.
Yeah. I think it was all, really just skimming through them, it was around parking.
I was going to say, how much parking is there? I can't see how much.
So,
I think
That's
the
Two
same
spaces.
Two spaces and there's two bedroom properties, isn't there?
couldn't see any problems.
Well, they are.
I
That's the
don't
other
have.
thing. That's the other thing, and much needed smaller homes.
Yeah, and Nobody's Gardens are fairly big compared to a lot of standards, actually,
Okay.
I don't, yeah.
Are we expressing concern? Or yep.
Immediate.
With regard to...
Yeah, I was going to say, roof around,
Well, it's still. We're still saying effectively due to the bulk mapping scale and character of the proposed, well, maybe not the character, but on this restricted plot.
Did you say the garden's just falls in it or just not?
Five to community space should be 80 square metres, I don't know whether... 260, shouldn't it? Yes.
And of course, we're also, in theory, we should be looking at the garden spaces of the other properties in the road as well.
Yeah, to be honest, that's probably...
So in St Albans last time
They didn't make it.
had no bearing impact.
This property here is
52 though.
Yeah, it's still next to the much smaller garden.
Okay, so express concern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bulk mapping on restricted spots.
And let's add something about the impact on.
Concern about the unity space.
Yeah. Well, I think we say restricted plot, but then let's talk about impact on the garden. There remains significant impact on the garden. Okay. Netherfield Road, didn't have a problem with that. Ennis Close. Oh God, this is awful. Yeah. I can't see where they're going to put it. This is a very high density part of Cross Farm development.
Yeah.
Are you an expert on this, Ross?
No, not on this one. I was going to go and have a look at it.
It's just
Just a block.
It's just tucked in the corner. Oh, they've got cars there. Can you,
So this one's
Oh,
going,
yeah.
right, we've got,
Oh, yes, it was right in there.
yeah.
Yes, I had trouble actually finding it. I've got a rear
So
view
that's
as
number
well.
14, and it's going to go in there somehow.
Yeah.
oh gosh, this is...
How are you even going to access it?
Probably close we were concerned about.
Yeah. Recommend refusal?
Yeah. It's just,
I mean, it's going to be there.
Can we bring it up on Street View, actually?
Well,
Yeah.
on the street view
That's
there.
what you see.
Oh, okay.
So it's this house in the corner.
I'm sure that's, I've looked at that one before. I thought,
how do they think they can get, they're supposed to get a car in there?
there was no...
There isn't parking at the moment. There is on a couple of other properties.
Yes.
I think it's noticeable. It looks like a mini. It's a hatchback.
Oh, it's looking fast.
So
I was concerned about that because
yeah,
how it would affect this person here and then
Yeah.
this guy.
yeah.
It's generally concerned that it's not right place to build.
Okay. So well, we're going to recommend refusal. And it's so the policy says, well, let's go. So policy 22, particularly effect on the adjoining property, so that's fine.
They put in, looks like there's another bedroom in the room, isn't it? That's another parking space.
It's 69.1 the context. 22. It's we'll have space around the building as well, and effect on the adjoining property. Right. As you say, it's not good enough to suit you. Oh, is that yours?
That's fine, yeah.
So that was that. 45 West Common Way. So this we recommended refusal last time. It's coming back again. So the issue is, have they done enough?
This is amazing. The street view is amazing on this one, actually.
Oh, thanks, Ray.
Yeah, so that's what they're now proposing. So the roof height has come down a little bit, I think, hasn't it? Right.
One floor semi-stone
Okay.
removed from the front appears to extend further at the rear, but in single-story format. I can't read my own writing. Two-story element brought in from the boundary and reduced to single story. Basement increased in size. Second floor increased. And I can't read my writing, sorry.
Okay. So,
I have got a query on concerns regarding tree removal.
oh, okay.
2 trees to be removed at the front to be replaced. I haven't got any trees removed at the front.
I mean, compared to one project on one side, it's about equal, isn't it? The other one's looks smaller.
It's the
And isn't it? That one looks, this one, that's one project on this one, isn't it? From the other side.
yeah. So the same with 45-degree angle.
Yes.
Doesn't come into play. You've got a single-story extension there.
Right.
With some roof lights. Although, oh no, it's quite. In fairness, there is quite a ridge on that, isn't there?
Yeah.
So the ordnance were concerned about it having overbearing impact on 43 and 47. and likely to cause overshadowing and loss of daylight from those at number 47.
Right, it's not clear which one is which. Oh yes, sorry. 47 is that one.
That dominating and overbearing for both 47 and 47.
Right, I mean, the one thing that they have done in relation to 43 is putting that down as single story.
I think if this bit was modified to be sort of much smaller in height, then it wouldn't have that effect, would it?
So that means that that is less imposing. However, when you go over the other side, there's a bit that steps in a bit. If at all, actually. Yeah.
It is quite large, isn't it?
It's huge compared to the next door. That was the previous one, no wonder that was refused.
Yeah, so have they gone far enough? Or should we be in the middle and express concern?
I think that they've gone too far at the rear still, actually. I think that's dominant to me.
This is code. Is that previous?
That's previous.
Yeah, okay.
It's more like an atrium, that's rear bit.
Yeah. It's also, there's a lot of windows in it as well. It's
You're right.
so it kind of...
How does the road lie?
I mean, that's almost as big as a two-story, isn't it? That single story.
So
That's the previous street.
okay, so there's the streeting with the proposed. So that helps a little bit above the garage to break that up, because you can see the outline there. Really nothing has changed much over on this side.
Yeah, it's still quite overbearing, isn't it?
Reach height goes up, reach height comes down.
And is that 47?
Yeah.
It's taller than
We haven't
47.
addressed that actually, have we?
These guys are Gabriel rather than
I think personally I would refuse it because of the view at the rear as well.
what the view of it, or
I think the rear part is, I think the front doesn't look too bad, but I think that the rear is overbearing for the people on the side. Because of the way it extends out, this is a huge...
well, certainly I think we might make a point about the gable roof on the single story family room.
I think it comes up too high because it's so wide, actually.
So the thing about the ridge height on the single story rear family room projection. And then we're saying that still significant impact on number 47. We're still a bit too close to the boundaries. So recommended that the proposed no development. So we're still going to recommend refusal, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
The proposal remains. The committee considers that the proposal remains an overdevelopment of the plot in terms of its design, size, scale, and mapping. And then, if you can put that bit in about the impact of the ridge height on the single-story extension. And so we're back where we were before, policy 6970.
Well, we've got a plot plan of the existing.
So much more like 43. They're quite narrow. They're wide.
I'm just seeing how much it comes out. Obviously that one looks quite
Right.
I can't quite tell if they.
So the previous one was in line with that.
Yeah, no, with the previous one,
Yeah.
arguing different surveys. That's just the previous, I was wondering what the actual existing house is.
Well, judging on
comparing
this,
the previous design.
I'm judging on this, there's a big gap there. So why there are those different dotted lines? Whether those are later extensions from this one. So maybe they've taken this from the land registry or something and they've put those dotted lines on because there is something there. Right. Okay, I think we're done.
Yeah, I think the chimney seems incredibly big, doesn't it? I suppose they're trying to get it...
Yeah, well,
so
whenever you have those hip throughs,
yes,
It makes it look
yeah, you still got to get,
exaggerated.
you've got to get the smoke away.
oh,
Right, we're going to start, 33 Morton End Lane. Oh yeah, I remember that. No, hang on. Oh yes, so you did have to consider it. What's your problems with it?
Which one?
33 Morton End Lane?
Hang on a second. My problem was I didn't have time to consider it.
Okay.
I can't imagine how
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I think the front is an improvement. This is a bit of a wacky house.
I mean, yeah, if I look at the existing versus the... Sorry, the proposed versus the existing, the proposed is what?
It's a bit more joined up. Yeah. So I think
the house. But it goes, I think that it goes, the side elevation though is changed quite a bit, it goes back quite a long way now. So it's really that side elevation, I think.
right. I mean, there's a tiny little cottage next door with presumably an old billion, and it's pretty unkempt. But because they're going round, they can probably get away without. They can probably go back quite a way without having an impact on these neighbours. So I think we're in the territory of no objection, provided no impact.
No loss of immunity.
Loss of immunity to the neighbours.
Yeah. Yep. Good.
Now, what do Martin Spencer want in Church Green?
Oh, no, they want to change their signage. One of them is internally illuminated.
We don't like that.
We don't really. To be honest though, it wasn't bad, to be fair. Basically, they want to change it from saying not dispensable simply food to endless food halls. And I wasn't quite sure, I couldn't see.
Sounds alright.
Yeah. But I couldn't see which one, or whether they were...
Well, it's above the door, isn't it?
Yeah, one is supposed to be, the two signs, one is supposed to be illuminated, and one is...
So one in town.
Hang on, there's 3 signs.
So one in family.
It does say two, doesn't it?
So when it says internally, is that the lights are internal to the sign, or are they internal to the shop?
But yeah, but we don't like...
Okay, this here is saying sign 1 is obviously the rear one, which is not here nor there. And then there's sign 3 and sign 2.
What is the one on the back side?
Presume that's for delivery.
On the application, it says two stations.
Oh, hang on, sorry, I'm looking at the existing here. So now we've got the food hall sign. So it's the one above the door and the, oh God, quite big one. But that's not illuminated, whereas that one is. Right.
The question is, does it cause a problem though for, I'm not sure, I'm trying to think anyone facing it actually, I'm trying to think of location there. Like if it's illuminated, but not.
Well, it's just,
That's probably...
We just don't like it.
We've never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we stopped. There was a place we recently said no to, and they had to turn it off. Wasn't there? So
We could just do all the way through the conversation every time,
Yeah.
we?
So I
They
think
do strictly allow it.
they do, well, they don't enforce against it. So Peaceful Express is eliminated. The Building Society stroke estate agents, Harris and Murray, I think they've got them eliminated.
Oh, really?
But can we just give our stock answer?
Yeah.
On internally eliminated conduct trial. Seems to be Marks and Spencer are a little bit more law-abiding than others.
So, sorry, what is our stop loss?
We don't know.
Right.
not on keeping conversation.
So that's policy term, it's all the stuff down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Policy 90 shop service.
Yeah.
Okay, so Glen Eagle, there was no comment required. Lawfulness, no comment required. We've done Cowper Road already. And we're done.
Well,
Right. Thank you for your forbearance. And was there anything else on the end of the agenda?
No, it's just Mary, the decision, everything else.
Right. I think David Heritage is looking up in group time. Thank you for that. Yes, thank you.